Welcome to TWitWoW, the best podcast on the internet today. I'm John, that's my core and commentary Ashton, and this is the TWitWoW weekly recap. All right, let's get right into it. Let's talk about wrestling. I am just going to say straight off, there was a part of me genuinely that was looking forward to Elimination Chamber and kind of knowing how I've been waking up earlier lately. I'm trying to reset my circadian rhythm in advance of, spring. Can't wait to be greeted by the sun again. And I'm thinking, I'll probably be up early enough and have my shit together enough on the day of Chamber that I may even settle in and watch it and be like, oh, hey, guys, I watched this. But SmackDown really kind of killed my interest for both Chamber matches. Because on one hand, Bliss qualified, and I'm like, well, that's great. So now we got Bliss and Tiffany in the same chamber. Charlotte's probably going to qualify because they're probably going to want to play with, can Charlexa's, friendship or whatever survive, wanting to go to WrestleMania, being in the chamber for this opportunity, what have you. And then on the fucking men's side,
I do just
guys,
want to very quickly just insert Charlotte is in a triple threat with Naya and someone else who I forget, but I remember thinking they're definitely not winning.
Yeah. So, you got kind of that set up there. And, guys, I really should just have a soundboard of like either just saying I was wrong or I apologize because I was so confident that Sammy was going to win. I'm not going to deny the record now. We have me on tape. I'm not that audacious. Being like, oh, Drew will come in and he'll fuck over Cody and Jacob, and then Sammy will capitalize. But Sammy will be angry about it, and Drew will laugh because Sammy's a babyface. He wants to do things the right way. But Drew is like, this is great because even if by some miracle you win the chamber, you've never beaten me. So this is wonderful for me. And I thought, man, what a really simplistic, straightforward, and effective way to tell a story. But see, folks, I forgot one very important thing, and that's that I'm not in the writer's room.
Yeah.
Which is a deficit for them.
Yeah.
Because LOL Cody fucking wins. And here's the crazy thing, bro. We were right as far as Drew coming in and
Drew
fucking
did
up
interfere.
Shit.
Drew interfered his ass off. Cody just overcame it.
Yeah. Thanks in part to Sammy hitting a haluva kick on Drew, which, if you want to get technical about it, saved Cody because Drew was in the midst of beating up Cody. And then Sammy comes in with the haluva kick, and then Cody hits the crossroads. Now, I want to just point something out here tangentially, like it's related to this, but it's kind of a broader thing too. And that's that, I feel like Cody has been kind of a dick to Sammy lately. Like it's not like he said anything in a promo or anything like that, so I don't want to like overstate the case. But in the lead up to Royal Rumble, when they had the whole smudge, there was like a big, I guess, tag match or whatever, and everybody's kind of going at it. There was a moment where Sammy, believing in himself and having taken out Drew with a haluva kick, goes to touch the title, the whole spot that I'm a fucking mark for. And Cody actually grabs the title alongside Sammy. So they're like not really playing a tug of war, but kind of, because they both have their hands on it. Cody's like, no, Sammy, even though I've already held it fucking twice, even though I already ended the title reign, that I've actually gone back and I've watched the clips of like Sammy in the Bloodline and Sammy's and Roman's feud. Sammy probably should have been the one to end it, if not Kevin Owens at that one Rumble with the fucking handcuffs before him. No, I got to end the legendary fucking title reign and slay the top fucking heel. I need the title again, Sammy. It can't be yours. And then they both get speared by Braun Breaker. And now Sammy, for all intents and purposes, helps him out. And I get it. It's a triple threat. Anything goes, blah, 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 blah. But Cody takes advantage of that again, and there was even a shot of Sammy kind of looking dejected, looking at Cody celebrating. And I'm like, if WWE gave a shit, and I do agree with you, Foster J also should have been on the table. The point is, fuck Cody Rhodes. That's the main point. That's really, it's not even a debate. Fuck Cody Rhodes. If WWE cared to do anything with that, you could do an interesting story, maybe even of Cody versus Sammy at Mania. But now, like, my jaded, cynical ass, I'm just thinking, like, oh, well, Cody's probably just going to win the chamber. And then you just do him and Drew again at Mania, and he probably just goes over. And then I'm like, well, where does that leave Jacob Fatu? Because I really like what Jacob Fatu's been doing, kind of asserting himself and wanting revenge, unless the writer's room has a different idea of who his attacker was, which I can't even be excited about that because have you seen that fucking writer's room? And I'm like, is it going to be something worth Jacob Fatu's time? So really, the moral of the story, kids, is that Cody Rhodes fucking ruins everything. And to the point where I even said earlier today on the Discord, I'm even going to repeat this exchange verbatim because you really came through in the clutch and you popped me hard. Where I asked Superior Sean in our Discord, I said, hey, bro, you know things. So would you mind explaining to me why WWE insists on pushing people like Cody Rhodes and LA Knight when you could just lock yourself in your car and hotbox your own farts for a comparable and yet still vastly superior experience? Having any fandoms that aren't anointed by a given company is freaking hell, bro. To which you replied, quote, yet still vastly superior is doing so much heavy lifting because comparable is downright offensive. To which I reply to your reply, facts. I concede. Because, it just would be a better experience. I cannot believe that they're still like just shoving them down our fucking throats, but what else is new? They do this with every fucking top guy, which is why people inevitably turn on them because they don't know how fucking cycles work. So, yeah, that was the big thing for me from wrestling this week is I saw that finish, I read about the finish, and it just angers me every which fucking way. And I don't know. We've got a few spots left. I'm curious who will fill them up on the men's side. But yeah, is there anything you want to say about this fuck shit?
No, but I do want to just fill in a blank from earlier. The triple threat to get into Elimination Chamber for the women is Charlotte versus Nia versus Kiana James.
Ah, okay, okay. Well, I do like me some Kiana James, but yeah, she's probably.
Yeah, she's cool. I like her. But yeah, she's definitely someone that, like, when I saw that image, I was like, probably Charlotte, definitely not Kiana James. Because, like, I could imagine Nia winning it, but I feel like it's like a 70-30 in favor of Charlotte, with, the 30 being Nia, and then Kiana getting 0% of the pie in terms of likelihood of winning that match.
Yeah. And apparently on Monday, men's is going to be Gunther versus Javon versus Dom. I hope Javon wins that.
Oh,
I think
wow.
Javon
Yeah,
in the
that'd be really
Elimination
fun.
Chamber would be insane. And Gunther doesn't even really need it at this point. I mean, I'm sure inevitably he'll get the title back, but like, it doesn't need to be now. Really, I don't even know what Brock Lesnar's going to do. Bro, now, granted, we have said repeatedly on this show, wrestling journalism doesn't even exist because the journalism, to use a phrase you used earlier, is doing a lot of heavy fucking lifting for what actually goes on, right? But so I heard a rumor, because that's really essentially all it is,
Oh,
that
no.
LA Knight may even have a program with Lesnar at Mania because I
Oh,
guess
no.
him and Cody had eliminated Lesnar together at Rumble, and so Lesnar's already feuded with Cody. They've already done that. So all that's left is the fucking ass stick. So
Well, I mean, there was also
yeah,
the rumor that we would get Lesnar versus Oba.
that's true. And that I would actually, that I think could be good for Oba. So we will have to wait and see. But yeah, I just hope Javon gets in. I really do. I think it'd be a huge opportunity for him. But I also want Oba to get in still. But I don't even know. It doesn't even seem like they're like gesturing towards him being in that kind of scene so early. Maybe I'm wrong though, because he's just been destroying random guys. So maybe they want to do a slower burn with him. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could get my interest back for these chamber matches, but they took a huge hit this week.
I will
I
say
don't
there
even.
are other qualifying matches happening. My mom pointed out in chat that Asuka versus Bailey versus Natty is apparently going to be a thing, and another SmackDown men's match is that we're going to be getting Trick versus Mello versus Damian Priest.
Right. Okay. So that would only leave one spot left in the chamber, right, for men's, because we have two
Right.
men's
We have
matches next
Gunther,
week, and that would leave.
Javon, Dom, and that one that I just mentioned. So there would only be one spot left.
All right, and I wonder how they would fill it because again, for me, I am a Sami Zayn fan. I'd love to see him get in there. I'd love to see him finish the story with Drew at Mania and finally beat Drew
I
for the first time.
honestly, I
Yeah,
don't want to, like, shut you down, but I feel
of
like
course
it's the
not.
responsible thing to do, because really I do think that by getting your hopes up that that exact thing is going to happen, it leads to literally anything else just being a disappointment for you.
Well, I was going to say to finish the full thought, it would be nice if Sammy would get in, but or Jacob, but the more realistic hope I'm having, just because they haven't teased it yet, would be Oba getting the final spot. So for me, it's either Jacob finds a way in because he didn't even eat the pin in that triple threat. Sammy, I've kind of given up on, but we'll wait and see. Or Oba, because Oba would be exciting as fuck. So we'll
Oba
see.
is Oba is currently in a feud with Kit Wilson.
Yeah, but I mean, is it really a feud though when it's like just so one
Well,
sided and
I
dominant?
mean, they are going to have another match next week,
Well, that I mean, but then
which is
again,
like, yeah, like that means it's another week that Oba's not qualifying for Chamber.
true, but it was already a week where two matches were already occupying. So as long as the next week is filled up, I mean, or freed up, we'll see. We'll see. That's all I can say about
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, I mean, again, it really doesn't change the fact that
Maybe
as
they'll
far
do a
as this
last
week,
chance battle royal, including everyone that had already not won their matches, and maybe Oba will find his way into that. We'll see.
yeah. I mean, all I know is that as it relates to this week, my interest took a major hit.
Yes.
Um, as far as Raw, I barely even remember anything. Did you like watch Raw at all, or did you take anything away from Raw
I
this
did
week?
actually. Well, here's the thing. I again, I probably don't have to say this every week, but I feel like if anyone's watching that didn't watch last week or that doesn't watch every week, I should. I don't really watch WWE anymore, but my mom does. And we share a TV. So it's on the TV that is in the room that I spend most of my time in every week anyway. So it's on in the background while I do other shit on my computer. So I happen to catch things. Like this week, unfortunately, I happened to catch the promo between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. That was god awful. I hated every moment of it.
Yeah. AJ Lee really I don't know if she was ever really good on the mic, but that's been rough. And Becky, she's hit or miss, I think. And
Yeah,
I'm
that's
guessing
a
it was a
great way
miss.
to
Was it?
describe it because I do think that Becky, especially in her current character, has been trending great on the mic. Most of her promos in her current character are fantastic. This felt like way too much. This felt like she took it to a 13 when an 11 would have sufficed.
Yeah, I think I only saw like a bit of this promo. Any standouts for you as far as like what really made you cringe or just you didn't like it
No, I
or
just
whatever?
AJ Lee is almost 40 years old and she's still portraying this like cutesy, awkward millennial alt girl, and it is just so unbelievably cringe. I cannot stand it.
I see,
Like
I
maybe
see.
it would have worked when she was in her 20s because
Yeah,
it's like, like your personality in your 20s is far closer to that of, teenagers than when you're in your late 30s. But she's in her late 30s. She is like a grown ass woman who pays bills and pays taxes and owns a home with her husband. Like, stop acting like an awkward teenager. Jesus Christ.
yeah, yeah. All right, well, that feud because I think they're having a match at Chamber, right, for Becky's
Yes.
women's
Yes,
Intercontinental
singles
title.
match. Exactly. Yeah.
I
No
honestly think
frills on
AJ.
that at
Yeah.
all. No stips, no nothing. Just one on one.
Well, if it is just one on one, I almost wonder if Becky would retain via DQ because I think they do want to protect AJ, but I also don't know if they want to end Becky's reign after she just got it back recently against Maxine.
Yeah.
Um, which like Maxine
I
was
mean,
only
maybe they
used really.
want the women's intercontinental title to be more of a hotshot title for a little bit. I don't know.
Maybe that's also possible because to me it's either AJ just wins or Becky retains by DQ.
Yeah.
So like AJ wins, but she doesn't win. Just because again, I really do think they want to protect AJ. So yeah, I'm not really, whatever. I'm actually looking more forward to Punk versus Finn, and that's mainly because I do just enjoy when Finn gets to be in the main event. I've liked kind of his motivation that he's just been so close time and again to just regaining a world title and having a proper run on the main roster, and it just always like eludes his grasp. And for him, it's about respect and everything else. Even though Punk did show him respect, but then Liv kind of gassed Finn up and is like, are you gonna take that? Are you gonna take being complimented? Yeah, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna kick his ass. And now we're just doing this whole thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that should be a fun match.
I
But
really like. I I really hate this feud actually between Punk and Balor. I like Punk is just way too arrogant, way too confident in himself for someone who failed as miserably as he did as a real man fighter.
Okay. Because at first I didn't catch who you said was arrogant, and then when you said failed as a real man fighter, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
Punk.
yeah.
So, yeah.
No, like the thing is, I would love to believe in my heart of hearts that Finn stood a chance here. I would love that because I love Finn as a wrestler, as a performer. I think he is fantastic. Maybe not like AJ Styles GOAT level fantastic, but just a notch below that. He is unbelievable. Really
Yeah.
a really great performer. Um, but like he even acknowledged the fucking top rope break against Roman a few years ago, and even just him bringing that back up reminded me, like, oh yeah, Finn's never gonna win the big one ever again. Like that was the death of
Yeah.
his credibility.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a shame too, because not only is he really good in the ring, I've always enjoyed Finn as a talker.
Yeah,
I
well,
feel
that's
like
why
that's
I wanted to
actually
emphasize
yeah.
as a performer because he is a
Yeah.
great promo too. He's a great promo. He's a great actor. He emotes well. Like he does everything really, really well. The only real negative that I can say about Finn Balor in the wrestling business, in the sports entertainment business, is that he's just small. And even then, the dude is shredded. He's got like that pack thing going on where like he is on the shorter side, but he's still absolutely buff and rocked, muscles. But like, man, the demon flop, as Super Blue put it, just in my mind, just completely killed his credibility as a main eventer. I just can't ever imagine him being a main eventer ever again. And so like he's getting the shot against Punk. And I think another part of it that I hate is like Punk talking his shit and treating Finn like a little bitch feels like he's beating a dead horse. It feels like he's kicking someone while they're already down. Because like Finn, I already have this perception of Finn having zero main event credibility, and then Punk comes along and he's like, "You're never gonna beat me in the main event, bitch." And I'm like, "Yeah, Punk, we know. You don't have to be a dick about it."
Yeah, he kind of early on, like a couple years ago, like early on in his return run, he kind of treated Sammy the same way, like in a match that they had. And I don't know,
He
the
said
way
he was
you
not on his level. I remember that.
yeah. And it's like, it's funny, bro, because to me, what you're saying about AJ Lee or what you did say about her, like it's kind of cringe that she's still kind of the same character in a way, the same personality at almost 40. Like, I cringe seeing old man Phil like talking his shit on everybody. Like,
Yeah,
this
no, and
isn't
that's I'm right there with you, but I think I take it to a level past cringe where like it actively enrages me. Like it doesn't just make me
yeah,
go like, "Oh god," like eye roll.
yeah.
It makes me go like, "Fuck you, Phil," and like want to change the channel.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking, like, it's not the summer of punk anymore. It's not fucking 2011. Like, kind of grow up a little bit, like, in a way, Um, and yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for Finn. I always root for fucking Finn at my own detriment. And really, yeah, like Big E said it best. I think when he was doing like one of those Raw after show panels, when they were in Ireland and he competed against Punk and he lost that match, he's like, oh, I thought we were gonna get Finn, as a babyface again on the side of good, and then it just didn't happen. And yeah, he's right. Like I really thought, like, man, we're gonna do babyface fucking Balor, and that's fucking awesome because I love rooting for Finn. And then again, Liv, who is also still healed that I missed as a babyface, was like, you know, don't you see what's happening? I got complimented. Yes, yes, by somebody that wants to keep you close because they don't want you to succeed. And then, the whole thing. So, yeah, it should be a good in ring match, I guess. Really, dude, it's getting to the point, honestly, where Punk is annoying me so much with just his smarm that I'm rooting for Roman Reigns. Like, it's crazy because he just got done that huge title reign of like so many years. And I'm like, you know what? Put the belt on him again. fucking do it. Um,
I'm
so
100% on the same page as Alex Foster. He said, "Oh, we'll get babyface Balor in about 5 months."
yeah, yeah, that's the WWE way, baby. Um, So yeah, that's it for me from Raw. Is there anything else from Raw specifically? Because again, I know you don't watch, but your mom does. So is there anything like you recollect or anything from her viewing that you would want to bring to the
Hmm.
table? Because I'm ready to move on to NXT actually. Um, man, NXT. So I'm
Wait,
I'm
you
gonna
just
start
moved
at a
on
weird.
without me getting to try and fill in Raw?
Oh well, no, I thought you said no, honestly. So I guess
No, I went,
I missed.
I went,
Oh, okay, so is there anything?
Did you catch the Liv Morgan Dom Stephanie McCare segment?
A little bit of it. Where like Liv asked what he said in Spanish, and then like Stephanie tried to make it seem like Dom insulted Liv in Spanish, and then Stephanie slapped Dom or whatever. So like, yeah.
There was
Um,
also a moment where Liv, who was wearing a shirt that says "Hot girls love Dominic Mysterio," offered Stephanie one of those shirts, and then was like, "I don't know if you meet the qualifications."
wow, that's cool.
I
We're really
hate,
raising the yeah.
I fucking hate the way that women are written in WWE.
We're really raising the bar for WrestleMania season. I feel it. I'm like, man,
Mm-hmm.
this shit's magical.
Yeah.
Um, I
Um.
feel transported.
Yeah. Did you see the crazy Javon cutter that he hit on El Grande Americano?
Yes, that almost has had like a viral quality because yeah, I've seen it a few times
Mm-hmm.
now. I'm telling you, put him in the chamber. Put him in the fucking chamber. Let him do the rest.
Yeah, that's really all I wanted to touch on. I just figured it was worth talking about briefly, just touching on those two things. But if you want to move on to NXT, we can. I will say NXT is the one WWE show that I don't have any exposure to at all because that's a show that my mom doesn't give a shit about. And because if it was up to me, I would watch zero WWE. I don't watch anything that my mom isn't interested in, and she doesn't give a shit about NXT, so we don't even have it on the television on Tuesdays.
All right. So I'm only gonna touch on a few things here, mainly because I really am in a fuck pro wrestling kind of mood after SmackDown on Friday. Um, okay, so I'm gonna start in a weird place, but only because this made me pop and I hate myself. So Kalani Jordan is again doing, I think, really solid work as a heel. Lola Vice, though, Christ on a cracker. Bad. Just really bad. So there's this segment like in the trainer's room, because Lola's still kind of tending to her hand and everything. And she's kind of talking to Robert Stone like, oh, Lola, she's cost me another singles title in NXT, and I'm not going to let that slide. Whatever. I want my revenge kind of thing. And then Robert Stone is called away to something. I don't even know what it was. I don't really care. And then Kalani attacks Lola from behind. And then I guess Lola, while she's trying to get up, she has like a few fingers on her injured hand, like in this drawer or whatever. And Kalani kicks the drawer hard, I guess to like damage the fingers. And all that's fine. But then Lola, she's like crying out in pain. And she's like, oh, my hand. And I don't know why, but her like having to say out loud, you got my hand when we all saw it, show, not tell. I'm like, I don't know. Couldn't you have sold that pain a little better? And then Kalani, though, to her credit, she has like this mischievous smirk and she's kind of like, well, my job's done. And then, yeah, just kind of walks away. So, on one hand, I'm really liking Kalani. I think if, again, I said this last week, but if you have JC drop the title to whoever the babyface would get the title, I've been saying Jada Parker. Jada Parker's my pick. And then you go from Jada to Kalani. That would be really interesting. And I think Kalani could have a great heel run with that NXT Women's Championship, but we'll have to see. Speaking of the NXT Women's Championship, I saw the tag match, most of it. I think I just mainly focused on the third act of the tag match between Zarya and Sol Ruka versus Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray, or Rendell. Yeah, this Zaruka storyline has been going on for seemingly forever. And earlier in the night, they had a backstage segment, and Zarya is pretty much like, she's kind of fed up with Soul shit. And she's like, when is it going to be my turn? I've supported you at every opportunity. I see you get all these opportunities. I want to be the NXT Women's Champion. I want to face JC. And then Soul's like, well, whoever wins. And plus, I already kind of called out JC, and we got this thing. And she's like, are you serious? Like, you're really doing this right now? So, and then, the finish of this, fast forward to the match, and yeah, I can't blame them either, Foster. I love Ren. I wouldn't have minded if Ren had actually won this tag match for her team and gotten the shot for herself, just because I really would like to see Ren in a big match situation again, because I thought she did great in the Iron Survivor she was in. But yeah, the finish is Zarya gets like an F5 on Ren, and Kendall gets hit with the Soul Snatcher. I do have to call out Kendall. I love her. I think she's huge. She did duck like a little prematurely on the Soul Snatcher. So like she kind of went down early, so the cutter really wasn't complete. But that's a minor nitpick. It fucking happens. But Soul pins Kendall. Zarya realizes too late what's happened, and the look she gives Soul when Soul got the pin really just screamed, "This bitch." Like, I really can't believe she took this from me again. Like, that we're doing Sol Ruka again. When I said I've wanted this opportunity. So, yeah, either she is screwing Sol Ruka out of the title, or, I will say, man, because you know that my internet algorithm, because the only social media I really have left is Facebook that I actively use, my algorithm is just totally all over the place. So, but I do get recommended like a lot of wrestling pages, seeing like a lot of like member posts or comments or whatever. And somebody pointed out, it would be really interesting if they actually had Sol Ruka turn heel, because they feel like that she's been kind of like leading Zarya along and kind of messing with her mentally, like acting like her friend, but not really supporting her like one. So it'd be kind of flipping the script where this woman that you think could like tear you in half, she's the baby face, and Sol Ruka, because she's been getting all this notoriety and she beat Bailey at Saturday Night's Main Event, and she, in these high profile matches, it kind of goes to her head. She sees Zarya as beneath her and she goes heel. And I think there's something there. I just don't know if NXT has the interest or really just the ambition to explore that. So I still think that Zarya is going to go heel. I did just want to point out how people have been feeling about this storyline in general. I think overall people are just waiting for something to happen. But yeah, there are a lot of Zarya sympathizers, and not just in the me way of like loving betrayal or loving a good heel, but really seeing her as the victim here. And I find that interesting. So we'll have to see how that goes. I don't know when Soul's match with JC is going to take place, but it should be interesting. And then, God, dude, the only other thing I can report on, I didn't watch the clip, but I heard that Swipe Right, which every woman should if they have taste, they defeated Hank and Tank. So I know you hate Hank and Tank, and I know we both like Swipe Right.
Yeah, that's
Right,
beautiful.
so,
I love to hear that.
yeah, like your face. And so they won, and good, because Tank is just a worthless waste of space that Hank should betray and kind of advance his own career. Probably won't happen though. So good for
You
Swipe
know
Right.
what though? As soon as these guys break up, people are going to realize really quickly that Hank does not have a personality at all.
That's also true. Well, I guess they're both fucked. Not my problem. So yeah, great win for Swipe Right, aka future greatest tag team in WWE history. And yeah, I can't wait to see them drenched in gold. It's gonna be just absolutely fucking beautiful. But the only other thing, and God, my heart is heavy reporting on this part. So if I recall correctly, Dark State are once again like NXT Tag Champions, and they have been for a little bit. Um, and they've kind of drawn the interest of the entire division, because the culling in the form of Nico and Spears came out and they kind of jaw jacked them a little bit on the mic. OTM came out to a nice pop.
Nice.
Okay, a nice pop. I like OTM. I've actually been kind of frustrated with NXT that they have not won the tag titles yet. But again, I'm not in the writers' room. Their loss. And Hank and Tank came out. This was before they lost to Swipe Right, so they can go. They can go to the back of the line. Unlike Swipe Right, Foster, it's rare of you to be so wrong. But I guess even beautiful people need to show that they can do it sometimes. And yeah, they're doing all that. And two members of Dark State, I forget who, they go and they brawl with Hank and Tank. And then the other three remaining members just get laid out by Tony D. Tony D just dominates them. Now, you could say it's a sneak attack or whatever. I just don't like, though, that it really feels like Dark State's been kind of nerfed in a way. And I don't know, but see, then again, though, just to be fair, Foster had posted in the Discord, and I really appreciated him sharing this. Kind of a segment, I guess, of just them being together before the show. This wasn't like an official thing on the NXT channel or anything. I think it was like probably on one of their social medias where they're just talking like people, like bros, and it's really endearing. And these guys are very likable, even though they're supposed to be heels. But then again, whatever. I guess I think the NXT crowd still vibes with them anyway. And it's nice that they get to show their personalities. I just wish the booking would make them seem like more of a threat. I've already said, like, I don't hate Joe Hendry by any means, but I kind of wish Dion Lennox would have won that ladder match. Like really build these guys up a bit. And now you got Tony D 1v3ing them. And I don't know, sneak attack or not, it just feels wrong to me somehow. So yeah, and I guess the only other thing I remember is that Jada Parker and Blake Monroe are still kind of doing stuff. They went to a double countout in their match, and then they kind of continued to brawl. So I wonder if they're going to be having a stip match soon. But yeah, that's pretty much NXT for me, just from stuff that I saw or heard about. And as Foster pointed out, Jackson Drake unfortunately lost to Joe Henry. So yeah, there you go.
Hmm.
Yeah. I have nothing to report from AEW. From AEW, excuse me, I got the hiccups a little bit there. I have nothing to report from AEW. I'm guessing because you're just checked out on pro wrestling, you have nothing to report from AEW.
Well, we know that Tekla won the AEW Women's World Championship from Chris Statlander in the most ridiculous decision of the week.
Yes,
And I
that
say
is
that in a
true.
week that Cody Rhodes won a triple threat where, Drew McIntyre attacked him and Solo or Jacob and Sammy fucked himself over.
Yes, yes. Good guy Sammy, his own worst enemy. But yes, Tekla did win the AEW Women's World Title. I really like Chris Statlander, and
Same.
yeah, I
To
just
quote Tony Storm in regards to Chris Statlander, what a woman.
yeah, and I mean, between that and Jamie Hayter, just incomprehensibly not getting the title back at any point. I don't know with this fucking division, man. I really don't. It's a shame
Kyle
too because
Fletcher. Kyle
yeah,
Fletcher also won the TNT Championship back from Tommaso Ciampa like 11 days after Ciampa beat him for it on an episode of Collision.
yeah, yeah. It's almost like they wanted to get Ciampa on TV, get the ratings pop of him winning a title right away, and then just
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool him down immediately and get him in a more like rhythm that's going to be his AEW career, probably. I don't know what that rhythm consists of, but like, yeah, I would definitely expect a major cool off that already began with Fletcher regaining the title. Yeah, it's a shame because AEW had that little bit of positive press, thanks again to Brody King, I would say by and large. And I know people have been talking up the main event scene, and I can also admit that I am old and jaded. Like I am coming in to looking at AEW or any wrestling product damaged goods just from over 20 years of watching a lot of pro wrestling. Both really, really good, i.e. Golden Age New Japan, Lucha Underground, Stardom when we first started, a lot of good shit. I know like the shit that really makes me feel like again transported, enlivened, all that stuff with pro wrestling. And I've seen the drizzling shits. I'm not even saying AEW is one or the other. They're probably in a liminal space if I would watch it consistently. But yeah, like I'm not connecting with it still, which is a shame because they did have that little bit of positive press, and it just seems like they're still doing the same old shit with their booking. Um, I don't hate Tekla by any means, but I've never really saw her as the woman, right? Like that you put the world title on, that you revolve a kind of division
Like,
around.
yeah, like just to be clear,
Yeah,
I don't hate Tekla. I don't think Tekla's a bad person or anything like that. I just think she's mid. I think she's mediocre. I think she is kind of annoying in the ring and not good on the mic at all. And you relate that then to Chris Statlander, who I think is excellent in the ring and good enough on the mic at least. Plus, Statlander just has a way better look in terms of like actually looking like she could beat someone up. And Tekla to me just screams like mid card champion at best, and they gave her the world title first.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, Statlander comes off very much like a very credible world champion to me.
Apparently, and this might be worth noting only because we know wrestling politics never really fucking left. She apparently said in an interview And I wish I would have had the foresight to pull this up before it went live and gotten an exact quote. But my understanding from what I read was she gave an interview recently where she said they just put the title back on her with like no story or reason. And she was, I guess, just kind of frustrated with her booking in the sense of like, put me in things that make sense, put me in things that
Who said
have
this?
Statlander.
Ah,
Statlander. Like if you're gonna book me, like I want there to be an undergirding, like well, she didn't put it like this. This is me using John vocabulary, but essentially, like if you're gonna put me in something with a narrative undergirding it, that people could follow in this and that. Don't just like hotshot a title on me for no reason, right? And I think that's a valid criticism, right? And I don't know. Could it be that it was heard and it was like, okay, well, I am hearing that as you don't want to be the champion, so we're gonna go and we're gonna give it here. I know other people have said that her and Tekla apparently have been in a thing for a little bit. So Tekla beating her, especially before a big show in Australia, was like a logical progression. I don't know. All I know is I think the world of Chris Statlander and talents like Jamie Hayter, and I really have to wonder if when their contracts come up, if they're still going to be with AEW or if they will resign. Because yeah, I don't know, man. That women's division is still such a weak point
yeah.
to
I'm
me.
sorry, but
Um,
if I'm a wrestler and I know that I have some level of job security, but I also have this weird thing where I know that my boss, if I work hard enough, my boss might be willing to put a championship on me. But then even as a champion, I also know that there's a chance that if we just go to the right town, my boss might decide to book for a cheap pop a hometown person to win the title off of me for no reason other than for the hometown pop. It might be a place that I might not want to work for much longer.
yeah, yeah, because I mean, I've said this before, and it's been something that I know we've always agreed on throughout the history of the show. Wrestling is such a unique industry because you're both kind of the supplier and the product, and that's the thing. Like you're a brand unto yourself in pro wrestling, and yeah, I mean, and really, I think the best case study of that to me, in my mind, just in my history of watching wrestling, is AJ Styles. Like AJ Styles was a hot commodity at one point in TNA. Then he was kind of fledgling because of stuff like Claire Lynch and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Then he goes to New Japan. I don't know if his brand was ever hotter than when he went to New Japan and did his version of Bullet Club. Then he goes to
Well, yeah, because
WWE,
New
and
Japan
yeah,
is where
yeah,
genuinely great talents get to shine because New Japan, from like a creative standpoint, is very bare bones. They at least in the 2010s and probably further back than that, New Japan from a creative standpoint never really went out of their way to trifle too much. And so, you get a talent like AJ Styles going there and his talent is going to outshine everyone. Whereas nowadays, I mean, really the problem, I would say the biggest problem in New Japan is just a lack of talent. I mean, a lot of the old guard and the best guys that have been there for the last decade are retiring or leaving the company, and they are really struggling to find or make new stars. And all of the guys that they have that are on the younger side are either boring, inexperienced, or just flat out suck.
yeah.
With
Mm-hmm.
very few exceptions. Like there are exceptions, like Yota Tsuji is like the glaring, obvious exception of like a guy who is relatively young and really cool looking and pretty damn good at this whole wrestling thing. But like you've got Yuya Uemura, who is exactly as experienced as Yota Tsuji, but still kind of wrestles like a young lion. You've got Shota Umino, who can wrestle but sucks at the whole like getting over part, sucks at doing anything other than like I don't even know how to describe it. He's just a horribly ineffective babyface. The crowd does not give a fuck about him at all. You've got Ren Narita, who doesn't know how to do anything other than be a Shibata tribute act. I mean, you've got Aaron Hanare, who's very one-dimensional in the ring. It's like all these guys that are supposed to be like the next generation of New Japan, and you've got like one true gem and a bunch of guys still trying to figure it out. Whereas like the previous generation, you had, like a Jay White who really stood out as a gaijin. You had even like, as juniors, you had Yo and Show who were really thriving in the tag division. You don't really have anything like that in the current. And it's crazy that the bar is so low that I'm talking about Roppongi 3K as like no one can even hit this level in New Japan's current crop. It's wild.
Yeah. But yeah, that's really all I knew from AEW this week
Yeah.
was that. So I guess we can close the book
Yeah.
on
It's
that.
also, can
Uh,
I also just say, like,
of course.
setting aside my personal feelings about Tekla as a performer, because again, like, I don't think she's horrible. I just think she's mid. Um, these nicknames, like these team names, are absolutely horrible. So the faction headed up by Tekla, that's just her, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart, I believe. It's called the Triangle of Madness, y'all. I mean, come on. That's like,
Yeah.
who the fuck comes up with this shit? And then Sky Blue and Julia Hart as a team, as a duo, are called the Sisters of Sin. I mean, Jesus Christ, guys, what is this? 1990s WCW with the fucking Dungeon of Doom? Really? Like,
I
that's
mean, at
the
least it's got
level of names
alliteration
that we're
going on.
working with
Yeah.
here. What were you saying, bud?
Yeah, I said at least it's got alliteration going on, so I'll give it like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, well,
Fucking
yeah, that's the,
yeah.
that's like that's the vibe, right? The Dungeon of Doom, the Sisters of Sin. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
I don't know. I don't know.
Christ.
But it goes from bad to worse because now we can talk politics. And
Oh, we're not going
Jesus
to talk about
Christ.
SmackDown at all?
Oh, I thought we already did. I mean, we talked about fucking Cody qualifying and everything else. I mean, Trick Williams beat Ray Phoenix. I guess that happened.
Oh,
And Alexa Bliss qualified. We did SmackDown Brother as
yeah, I
far as I'm
guess we did.
concerned.
We just kind of covered that first because it was like the show that we both liked the least.
Yeah. I think it's the only other thing. Congratulations to Ariana Grace, new Knockouts champion. So cool. I'll
I
be
think
intrigued,
my
you know
main
how.
thing that I wanted to touch on regarding SmackDown, just as like a bring it back and then we can move on. I have
Sure.
to wonder if Sammy doing the haluva kick to Drew and then immediately getting pinned by Cody is going to lead to a character shift for Sammy. If he's going to lean more towards being a heel going forward, it might be a story thing where they build towards him turning heel. But that, like, you don't do that and just not question yourself afterwards.
Other people I've seen, like, again, on suggested wrestling groups and stuff on Facebook have been saying the same thing. Like, how do you not have something break in you after something like that? So, yeah, I'm really curious what Sammy's path is going to be for WrestleMania. I mean, because,
I'm
like, unless
starting
they're
to
going to.
wonder if they're going to do something with him and Trick, because Trick did cut a promo earlier on in the night that was pretty directed at Sami Zayn, at least at the very beginning of it, because he started it out talking to Sami Zayn directly, basically telling him, "Hey, nobody wants to see Mister Can't Get the Job Done tell another sob story. Every single week you come out here and you're backstage and you're moping around. You got Skechers on your feet. You don't comb your hair. Your breath smelling like 10 pounds of bounce that ass. You're begging for another opportunity. You make me sick. Newsflash, Sami Zayn, you got an opportunity tonight, and you got a qualifying match with Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes. Those are some big dogs. If you're coming here moping around, they are gonna eat your ass alive. Let's talk about it." Like, he really did have like a very directed promo towards Sami Zayn. I have to wonder if they're gonna build towards a double turn between these guys, because the crowd is actually starting to get behind Trick. And because they're behind Trick and Trick is talking so much shit about Sammy, the crowd is kind of starting to turn on Sammy a little bit. I feel like there's a chance we might get a double turn here between these guys.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if it would be like, I mean, not nearly the same. It's not like a neat analogy in terms of like in ring style, but I have to wonder if it could be like, or, Austin Brett, in that way, because Sammy's been a beloved face, I feel like, for so long. But then Trick comes in with this attitude and this mouth that
Yeah.
people just gravitate towards, like,
And
could
I mean, to
be,
be fair,
could
Austin
be.
Brett is like the most iconic double turn in the history of pro wrestling. So, like,
Yeah.
anytime someone brings up a double turn, that's always going to be the thing that you go to immediately to talk about, or something to compare it to.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I just have to wonder, like, I mean, we know Trick has a qualifier, which I mean, I'm expecting him to win. I think you at the time when we were talking about it, said that you thought Priest would win because he does have that history with Drew.
Yes.
And so we'll see. But if
And,
Trick
and and
doesn't
here's
win,
the thing: I almost have to wonder because Trick talked his shit about Sammy this week. What if Sammy costs Trick next week?
that would be, yeah, that would really be something. I don't know. I mean, he might, but
I
given
mean,
that
who
Trick
does
didn't even bother
Damian
with, yeah,
Priest have beef with that could lead to him getting fucked over?
yeah, I don't
I don't
know.
think he really
I don't
has
know.
beef with anyone right now, other than Drew himself. But like, if yeah, Aleister Black is a good one. That's true. I don't know. I just think I think that it's part of me thinks that maybe Sammy might do something to screw Trick over. Also, part of me is like, well, Trick and Mello are going to cancel each other out, and just out of those three guys, it just makes the most sense to me for Priest to win.
Yeah, yeah, man. That is kind of the intriguing thing about the road to WrestleMania, but it's kind of a backhanded thing because what we kind of see taking shape, I'm very checked out on. But then
Yeah.
I'm like, here are all these other floating pieces that you could do cool stuff with. It's just a matter of will you do the cool stuff. So we'll see. Um, but yeah, that's all from me, man. I've got nothing left as far as wrestling goes. Do you have
All
anything else
right.
you want to
Let's
say?
get. I'm gonna let you get into politics.
All right. Well, here's the thing, guys. Obviously, domestically, I think Epstein is still the biggest story in America, and it's going to be for
And
some time
Pam
in the foreseeable
Bondi
future.
lying her ass off trying to cover the shit up and redirecting as much as she can.
Yes, but here's the thing about that. It's not that I don't care about that, and we are going to touch on that, but a lot of people have already talked about it. And really, if you want some of the best coverage of it, to me, again, I have to recommend Voidzilla, which is the secondary channel of CoffeeZilla, who has been giving great coverage on that secondary channel of the Epstein scandal. The latest video he did called "Is This a Joke to Them?" Really, because he played a clip of Trump being asked about Epstein, and Howard Lutnick doesn't even hide it. He openly laughs at hearing that question. And it is, I mean, we're run by monsters, and I say it every fucking week. However, in that spirit, I want to table that because everybody's been talking about Bondi, everybody's been talking about Epstein. I want to talk about something that's a bit more under the radar. So, two things here. We know a while ago the U.S. abducted the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife. And Trump's whole thing was, we're going to control the oil, whatever. Bloomberg has run a story now that for the first time in God knows how long, Venezuela made an oil sale to who? Israel. Israel is benefiting from Venezuelan oil now that Nicolas Maduro is out of the picture, which I find, in a word, interesting. Beyond that, speaking about that region, there has been something going on in Cuba, and I really didn't know what. And I have to thank I am Blake Lee, that whole YouTube channel that I mentioned a few times now, because she finally connected the dots for me. They are in the midst of a fuel blockade. So the
A what
U.S., which
blockade?
is fuck a fuel blockade,
Oh, fuel.
fuel,
Okay.
FUE, yeah. So yeah, and this is all being done by Marco Rubio, apparently. Like Trump isn't even like I guess he's in the know, but he's not attending meetings. He's not doing anything like that. This is like Marco Rubio's little pet
Little
project.
Marco.
Exactly, because he's wanted to topple Cuba forever now. And the US as an entity has been fucking with Cuba for decades. Now listen, I'm not a traditional Marxist Leninist Maoist. I have said repeatedly, I'm an anarcho-communist. That being said, I'm very agnostic in the sense of like I don't know whether these governments were good or not. On the Castro question, I used to have a book on Fidel Castro. I believe I gave it away, unfortunately. But I do remember reading a little bit of it when Castro's regime overthrew Bautista, who was the dictator of Cuba at the time, and all that stuff. And you hear all the time about Cuban literacy and the success of their healthcare, which, by the way, the success of their healthcare infrastructure, not just in terms of people getting care, but the actual infrastructure of care, is so insane that during COVID, Cuba, and again, I have to thank Blake for this. She did a video, she educated me and everybody on all of this. Cuba sent so many doctors across the world during COVID that they were known as like the white coat infantry, like to come in and battle this fucking disease. We also know, I'll never forget the story, that after Katrina happened, Cuba offered to send doctors to, what was it, New Orleans, Louisiana, right?
Hmm.
Because that was Katrina, and Bush said no. So really,
Because
I bring
George
up
Bush
Cuba.
did not care about black people.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
I'm just quoting Kanye
And
West. Kanye actually said that at the time.
yeah, let's hope that he gets to be cool again. So I'm mentioning Cuba because I feel like normally there are a type of people like the Latin American region just gets invalidated and fucking erased and made invisible. And not entirely unjustifiably when you look at the raging fires we're all fucking dealing with. But a fuel blockade is another level of cruel. Because I mean the US has had sanctions on Cuba for decades. And even in spite of that, they still do high literacy. They have a far more robust healthcare infrastructure than we do. They have universal healthcare in Cuba. We fucking don't. We're still like paying out the ass to fucking mafia fucking insurance middlemen. So, there's that. And yeah, I mean, Cuba, in spite of everything, has tried to make something worthwhile for its people, which, again, I want to remind everybody that this country, 24 fucking 7, ceaselessly blares anti communist propaganda and is like, oh, communism never works or whatever. Which, if you're so confident in that, let it happen. Leave the states alone. Let them govern the way they want to govern. Stop trying to kneecap them out the gate. But of course you have to, because if it does work and everybody sees it, especially in this day and age where we're all interconnected, you're going to start asking questions of, well, if that works, why can't we do that here? And then you'll start to wonder why we can't do that here. And then when you get that answer, and then it's a domino effect. So you have to make sure it fails right out the fucking gate so that you can really prop up this whole idea of communism never works and feel validated. And just shame. Just fucking shame. Sanctions are one thing and they're bad enough. I've already talked about how debilitating sanctions can be. Sanctions are not peace. Just look at Iran. Iran, thanks to the sanctions the U.S. has put on it, has had black markets blow up and everything else. Iran, by the way, unfortunately, don't really have many updates on their democratic protests going on. I really have to dial back in on that, but I think I'm starting to reach my limit, to be honest, just mentally with the fucking bandwidth, just because everything is fucking happening. But yeah, now it's a fucking fuel blockade, which I feel like takes it up a whole other fucking level. They want to starve these fucking people. The US wants to starve the Cuban people so they can do regime change because either you cripple the government from within and you're just kind of begging for that relief, or if they're defiant to the end, well, then, you just starve them out and then you come in and you crush them and you do whatever. It's disgusting. I mean, look, the US has always been an imperialist shithole, right? And I've let everybody get it. It's both my gift and my fault, I guess, depending on who you ask. Because Obama did imperialism, Bush obviously fucking did. Biden wrote a blank check for Netanyahu to do genocide, which benefited both the US and Israel against Palestinians. And now we're trying to starve Cubans. So, I'm really just at the point where, and again, I say no doomerism, but just being honest, always being honest, even when the emotions are ugly. I'm really just fucking sick of the US empire. I don't care that I live here. You can ask Ashton. I have told Ashton, not to his face, mind you, but like on a call, I have told him I wouldn't give a shit if I died, if it meant Palestinians would live. He can vouch for me on this. And like, I don't give a shit that I'm a part of this empire, okay? It needs to die. Like, the US empire is a blight upon the fucking earth. What good is fucking happening here? You would used to be able to make the argument with US aid, which was still soft power, mind you, but still, at least with US aid, people would get life-saving medications or whatever. Well, that's been cut now because of Doge and everything else. So you can't even run under the cover of US aid. Like, oh, look at this medicine we're giving people or this food or just, again, just this aid in general, right? You can't even do that. But now you're just doing the big stick is the foreign policy fucking everywhere, right? And it's just so fucking disgusting and so fucking tired and everything else. And then meanwhile, while all of that is fucking happening, I have to hear, and again, like I apologize because I feel like I've been so good these segments for so long, but I've got to be human this week. I've got to be fucking me and I've got to be fucking human this week. I have to hear fucking idiots, fucking people that have the biggest megaphones, which is why they get fucking listened to, talk about a fucking halftime show, which nothing against Bad Bunny, right? And it seemed like a beautiful message. But let's get fucking real. It's late capitalism. It's the fucking NFL. This country is 4 corporations in a trench coat. Okay? Like, it's a good message, yes, but it's still corporatism. It's still like there's nothing fundamentally subversive about that message when it's hosted by the fucking NFL, right? But then you would think that it's the dawn of like the new fucking Red Scare or whatever, with the way these fucking racists and everything are talking about it, and then they're so pathetic they have to prop up their Turning Point USA halftime show, which was fucking garbage, and bought it out to hell, and paid fucking plants in the audience for the pre-tape, and it's just the bar is in fucking hell because we're still so fixated on a culture war that to me it's not that it doesn't matter, right? But there are bigger wars happening that the culture war, I feel like, almost becomes a distraction. Like, yes, I think what Bad Bunny had to say and like the imagery of the performance was important. But what are we materially doing about that? Because Puerto Ricans that don't have the social or class status of Bad Bunny are still treated like fucking shit, right?
Well,
And
yeah, because
like,
the culture war matters, but not as much as the class war.
Ex- exactly. Exactly. And so I have to sit here and listen to people pontificate about this and then act like they're fucking outraged when either A, we know you watched it and fucking enjoyed it, shut the fuck up. Or B, is your life so pathetic? Like, I was talking with my sister about this, and God, I love her so much, and I know we disagree on things, but she has one of the best hearts of anybody I know. And I'm just like, I told her, these people, whether you're sincere or not, like, and we'll get to Nick Fuentes in a second when I'm thinking about people like that.
Oh, God.
These people are so abjectly fucking miserable. You've never been genuinely moved by a piece of art, a piece of fucking music, a poem, anything. Like, this is all there is for you. It's just this rage. And I'm sitting here because my rage is the idea that people are starving when they don't have to. And I'm powerless to fucking stop it. I have to live in the reality of, oh my God, my government is run by pretty much, I'm sure this is an well, yeah, I was going to say pedophiles, but I was going to say an arbitrary number of like 12 billionaire psychopathic pedophiles. It's like, fucking end it. I don't give a shit what happens to me at this point because I know Social Security and stuff like that is a product of imperialism. I don't care. I don't care. End it. This empire is disgusting. I'm tired of it. How many dead children? How many violated women? How many innocent massacred fucking people? Which, to bring it back to the domestic, speaking of innocent massacred fucking people, the Uvalde cop, one of the officers in Uvalde, that mass shooting, was found not guilty, and he was one of the earliest ones on the scene when they waited for, what was it, 72 fucking minutes while children were being slaughtered.
Well, I mean, yeah, we know that there's a Supreme Court decision that literally says that the police are not under obligation to protect anyone.
Supreme Court also in the pockets of special interest. Like, I'm fucking tired, people. Like, I really just gets to the point where I understand the need for praxis, okay? I understand the need for a plan and organization, but sometimes you just have to let the human frustration out of how has none of this shit been set on fire? I'm sorry. Like, it's disgusting. We are disgusting as a society, and it's not even any of our fault. Ashton's a beautiful person. You all are beautiful fucking people. I know that. My family are beautiful fucking people. But we don't have the material power, which is why people like us at the bottom, every leftist historically will tell you, well, you get that power by organizing this and that. And I feel like that's starting to happen, but we need to hurry it the fuck up here. Because like it's fucking awful. These people are fucking psychopaths. So yeah, in that spirit, let's talk about Pam Bondi finally, now that I've kind of said my piece for Cuba and Venezuela. Israel now getting oil from Venezuela. Gee, isn't that a fucking coincidence? I hate these people just completely. She would not answer a single fucking question. She threw a temper tantrum every fucking time. It's funny, we were talking earlier about like AJ Lee not really acting her age, more or less. Like, you're still doing this character when you're in your 40. I don't even know. Let's get an age on Pam Bondi, should we? Because she acted like a fucking mean girl the whole fucking
like
time.
50 something.
I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, woman. Like, Like it's pathetic. Like she's insulting people. She called one person a loser lawyer, but you're not actually a lawyer. Tried to tell another one like you're corrupt, this and that. But then the big moment that everybody's quoting is that, well, actually there are a couple big moments, but the
Oh,
one
she's
that sticks out in
60.
my mind, Jesus fucking Christ. The two big moments that stand out to me is that she wouldn't even look at the survivors, right? When she was told, like, will you look at these survivors and will you tell them, like, I'm sorry or whatever, would not do it. And then I don't even know what line of questioning preceded this, but she started talking about the Dow and how
Hmm.
the S&P was like over 50,000 points. Now, somebody had tweeted, and I had shared this with my friend James, because I'll admit, I laughed at this because I do have a dark sense of humor. I swear to God, it's how I cope. It's how I keep it together. And this person said, quote, as a joke, well, maybe it wasn't a joke. I don't know. Maybe this actually happened to them. But they said, everyone wants to shit on Pam Bondi. But I know when I was molested, the only thing that calmed me down was hearing about how the market futures were doing. Sure, I lost my innocence, but did you see the gains my 401k made? That's how insane it fucking is, right? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, and you know what though? I appreciate her saying it, honest to God, because that is the best sentence I have ever heard that shows the fundamental kernel, the core, the essence of
Hmm.
capitalism.
I
Fuck your
actually
person.
I posted a Facebook reel the other day, might have even been yesterday, of a guy talking about how this moment wasn't just her trying to like deflect and distract. It was also a slipping of the mask because any moral quandaries that we might have about whether an action is right or wrong goes out the door when the GDP starts going up.
Exactly. Exactly. This whole system is fucking depraved. You cannot tell me. And look, I have had debates and discussions which I want to believe with well-meaning and good faith people on all sides of the political spectrum. You cannot tell me we can't do better than this. Like I'm really at the point with my leftism where I just refuse to accept it flat out. Like I don't even think it's a talking point anymore. I don't think it's anything worth debating. This system is broken, and I don't even know if Pam Bondi actually said if we prosecuted everybody, the system will collapse. But just as a general sentiment, let it fucking die. I'm dead ass. Let it fucking die. This is beyond grotesque. I don't think anybody's going to jail for this. I think they are going to get away with it, and I cannot tell you the rage that that fucking fills me with. And I think that that's kind of broken me in a way. But to end on somewhat of a light note, or a more of a positive note at the very least, I want to give a shout out. And I don't think they found this woman, and I don't have a fucking name, which I think is great. And I hope that that never comes to light. And if it does, no, it didn't. To anybody that may think, maybe I'll be a good citizen and report. A woman uh, tried to set fire to a South Kansas City warehouse that was going to be that was tied to ice and was going to become a detention center. And then I guess the owner of the warehouse, they like backed out of the deal. So yeah, she started to set fire to it. I don't think the fire got too big before intervention came. But based fucking woman right there. I don't know who you are, but thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you, because that is the correct praxis, honestly, at this point of my deranged mind, is set these on fire when they're empty. I posted earlier in the Discord earlier this week letters from children in detention centers, and stories coming out of there are as horrific as you'd think. Everybody's sick all the fucking time. The food is shit. The water is shit. The quality, to say it's subpar doesn't even do it justice. That's just trying to be civil about it, right? No, it's fucking obscene. Set these places on fire, not one more fucking warehouse. Because again, and I really, I don't think it can be said fucking enough. Anybody that's paid attention to history knows today it's the quote unquote immigrant. Tomorrow it's God knows, it's whoever they want it to be. We're all criminals now, right? Because when you have people like this in power that are the actual criminals, pedophilic, psychopathic billionaires, possibly also cannibals, who even fucking knows, um, they get to decide who a criminal is. We already know what is it? NSPM7. Yeah, NSPM7. Anti-capitalist, anti-family values, stuff like that. That could be seen as like domestic terrorism. They want to make the net so wide to catch all of us. So for people that are thinking, oh, the warehouses are only for so and so, no, the fuck it ain't. It is for all of us. They hate poor people. They hate non-white people. They hate everybody that's not them. George Carlin said it best. It's a small club, and you're not in it. So kudos to that woman, because not only do I think it's just her exercising her conscience, it's also an act of self-preservation. Not putting me in that fucking warehouse, I will set it on fire. May all of them catch on fire. May this empire catch on fire, and may we one day dance in the fucking ashes. I don't know though. Keep
What don't you know?
again, just I mean, that's the thing. I don't really know how this is all going to end. Nobody does. Tomorrow's always a new day for something good or some new other fucking horror. Which, that's another thing. Minnesota, it seems like there are gains there because it seems like there are withdrawals. But if you listen to people on the ground, ICE is still fucking with people. And I'm going to trust the people on the ground before anything else. So whatever narrative you're hearing about, oh, ICE is withdrawing or whatever, no. Keep staying with the people. If you're supporting them in any way, even if it's just, keeping your finger on the pulse, keep fucking doing it, okay? Because I think they want everybody to think like, oh, we're receding or whatever, and they may be removing some manpower, sure. I don't deny that, but I still think, yeah, they're leaving enough there to terrorize Minnesota and try and send a message. And yeah, just solidarity to the people on the ground in Minnesota and everywhere fighting ICE and their bullshit. Because it's bad. It's really getting fucking bad. I know more lawsuits even are coming out because I know I posted a story from NBC that Idaho families were suing over an immigration raid. That 400 people were detained for 4 hours and were denied food and water. Again, and more stuff's coming out, by the way, which is obvious because we've said this before, that when you see how ICE is operating in these cities, it mirrors IDF tactics. Well, we already know the IDF trains U.S. police forces, and definitely like ICE and IDF, they have kind of a collaboration going on. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of that. What happened in Gaza, it's being fucking imported here. And I guess the only other thing I will mention in politics, just to wrap this segment up mercifully, because God, this week really boiled my fucking blood something fierce. Was that Trump said that he's going to sign an executive order on voter ID if legislation fails. And again, I want to remind everybody that midterms are conducted at the state level. So I don't even know how, powerful or whatever, how legitimate an executive order would even be in this context, because an executive order really is just like an interpretation of existing law. So I don't know. States, I guess, will do that at their own discretion. But yeah, this is very clearly trying to intimidate voter bases that Trump feels is not with him, which is most of the fucking country at this point, because last I heard his approval rating was at 29%. In fact, his approval rating is so low that I think Gallup even said recently that they are no longer going to be doing presidential approval polls for the first time in what was it? Fucking 85 years, I thought I read. Maybe that might be a bit hyperbolic, but it's been a long fucking time they've been doing these polls, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh well, we're not doing them anymore. So yeah, really, again, just such a fucking coincidence, isn't it? This whole fucking regime is a fucking joke. And then yeah, oh yeah, and RFK said he snorted coke off toilet seats or whatever. It's an embarrassment to be here. And I know you all know that. I know I'm preaching to a choir that's already on my side. It's just I just need to verbalize it for my own sanity. It's a fucking embarrassment to be here. So yeah, that's politics, at least all on my side. And they're still trying to push through horrible internet bills, removing Section 230. There's a bill called COSA, which would make it harder for, people in the SAGA community, trans people, gay people, etc., to get resources if they're suffering from suicidal thoughts or self-harm or anything else. So that's great. Just make life harder for people that have never had it easy to fucking begin with. I hate these fucking people. So that's essentially it from me. Is there anything that you wanted to add commentary-wise or even news-wise that I might have missed that maybe you caught on this week? Just anything? I
Hello?
can't hear. I can't hear
Oh,
you
there
if you
we
said
go.
anything.
What was your question, bud?
Oh no, I was just saying I just handed it over to you. Is there anything that I didn't report on that you caught on, or anything that you wanted to say before we just
Strictly in
close
terms
this
of
segment up?
politics, we went over Bondi. You talk about a bunch of stuff that I didn't even know about. I didn't know about the Cuba fuel blockade. That was pretty crazy. I didn't know about Venezuela selling oil to frickin' Israel. That was pretty crazy. I don't
Yeah.
think that there's anything that we didn't touch on that I'm aware of that I wanted to talk about. I think you covered everything, man.
All right, cool. Let's get the fuck out of here.
I mean, there was
Um,
the Bondi stuff ties into the Epstein stuff, which is just insane.
dude, like I don't even know if the because everybody like and this started like I think during COVID. There was always this idea of like a back to normal. I feel like that was just impossible even then,
Yeah,
right? But after all of this, like
yeah,
get that concept out of my face
yeah.
because what
No,
even is
there
it?
is no such thing as going back to any normal that has ever existed before at this point. It's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, we've crossed the Rubicon. We've
Yeah,
well crossed the fucking
yeah.
Rubicon, okay? Like, yeah. Yeah, it's
Dude,
either under
it's actually
yeah.
really funny too. I saw another one of those posts, kind of similar to the one that you brought up, where I don't know who it was that said about how if we try and um, I think it was like indict or something like that to everybody who was in the Epstein files, the whole system would collapse. I saw a Republican I think congressperson come out today, or it might have even been Mike Johnson. No, it wasn't Mike Johnson. It was someone far more charismatic, I'm sure. Um, there was a Republican congressperson though today. I saw a comment where they basically said something similar, where they were like, if everybody in Epstein's logs got were forced to resign from their positions in Trump's government, there would only be like 3 people left.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking good.
Dude, I
Jesus
know.
fucking
Like,
Christ.
if we could actually do that, and it just so happens that like somehow there was like a mass resignation of everybody whose name was in the files. I mean, shit. We'd be in pretty good shape. Actually, we'd be doing a hell of a lot better. That'd be a step up in the right direction for sure.
Dude, I am I mean, you already heard me rant and rave. Like, I'm just so tired of American Empire. And if this is the
Hmm.
clown show running it, I definitely believe in like all the other leftists saying, you know, American Empire is dying. I'm just asking whatever is killing it, fucking metastasize and finish the fucking job. I'm over it. So yeah, let's move on to pop culture, which will be a lot more fun because we've watched some good shit. Marty Supreme. We watched that movie.
Yeah.
God, what a fucking movie that was.
What an
Oh
adventure.
man. Dude, I haven't stopped thinking about it honestly, particularly the ending because everybody has a different interpretation of the ending. But yeah, if you guys haven't watched it, I would recommend it because you think it's going to be one of those underdog sports type movies, you know, with table tennis. It really isn't. I would describe it more as a character study. And it's great. It's great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, and the only other big thing is I know we're halfway through His and Hers, a more recent Netflix show with John Bernthal and Tessa Thompson, which has been
Lovely.
really engaging. I cannot wait
Yeah.
to finish that with you and your mom tonight.
Same.
I've been
We're
thinking about
both
that all
looking
too.
forward to
Yeah.
it, bud. Believe me.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it all day, believe it or not. I think it's been one of the motivating things for me to like get my shit done so that I can like enjoy that show with you as comfortable as possible. So yeah, I've been looking forward to it. Um, yeah, I don't know. Did we do anything else like content wise? Like I know we're still
Yeah, we
keeping up with
did.
St. Dennis Medical.
Let me
Yeah.
actually pull up our watch list real quick. We do have a decent amount of stuff from this week. So, for example, just this week, we finished Fallout Season 2, episodes 3 through 8.
Yes.
We did have one episode of St. Dennis Medical, and yeah, that was it. That was all I had. It was the last 6 episodes of Fallout Season 2, the one episode of St. Dennis Medical, Marty Supreme, and the first 3 episodes of His and Hers. That's all we've done this week.
All right. Well, all good shit. All good shit. As far as music, I really haven't listened to anything like new or really interesting, like worth talking about. I know Mosaic is teasing. I'm guessing probably sometime next month they're going to be dropping probably another song. So I'm very very intrigued about that because I'm already liking this new run. But
Yeah.
that's essentially it. Yeah, because you know I don't really do gaming outside of what we do together or anything like that. And all I read is like nerd shit, so I'm not gonna fucking get into that unless you
See,
guys
but
have just
just to
something
be clear
interesting.
for our audience, when you say nerd shit, what you mean is philosophy shit.
Yes, yes, not like manga or anything like that, because I would share that with you all. But unless you all developed an interest in 18th century German philosophy, I doubt it. So, what about you, bud? What have you been doing on your own time?
Oh boy, I have been hyper fixated on the Golden Sun games as of late. That has been my big
Yes.
thing over the course of the last couple weeks. I have been talking about this for every weekly recap for the last couple weeks. I know for a fact. Um, it's one of those things though where the reason I think that it's lasted as long as it has is because of the fact that I keep having new revelations about the game and like how it can be played and what really matters and what really doesn't matter and stuff like that. And it's helping to keep me motivated to the point that like I already told you guys last week that I beat Golden Sun for the first time in like 20 years almost. And since then I have actually started another new game in Golden Sun, like in the original game, while also having a separate save file of The Lost Age, which is the sequel, playing off of the original game that I beat. So like I am like all in on this sequence on this franchise right now. I am obsessed right now, and it is my ADHD brain keeping me into it for however long that takes to wear off.
Hell yeah. And music, you just still listening to XG? Do we
Oh
get
yeah, all
some
about
new
the
stuff in the
XG
rotation?
life. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's been excuse me, definitely the strong majority of uh of what I've been listening to lately. Um I think I did listen to Noah Khan like one day this week, but that's really the extent of it.
All right. Um,
The
do we just
Super
move
Bowl
on to
was this
you?
past Sunday.
Yes, yes.
That was a fun
Congratulations,
game.
Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really proud of myself because I picked the Seahawks to win, and for those of you in our audience who know Craig in the Discord, he has a podcast, a sports analysis podcast, and I am a guest star on that show every Wednesday. We talk about the NFL. That is going to continue going forward because of like free agency and the draft and stuff like that because there's really the NFL offseason is kind of a weird thing that doesn't really exist and also only barely exists for a couple months in the summer at the same time. But yeah, so he was going to pick the Patriots, and I actually did a good enough job explaining some tactical advantages that the Seahawks had over New England that I got him to switch, and we both ended up being right. Like, dude, I wish that one of these days that I could do that for you for a wrestling prediction, but I don't know if that's ever happened before.
No, and it probably never will. Um, but yeah, I gotta tell you from the little bit that my family, because shockingly they were talking the Super Bowl. I was content to just not watch any of it, but they wanted to check in. I guess because they're trying to blend more into New England because we're all about the Patriots up here, and I say we in a very general sense. I was obviously rooting for the Seahawks. But from what we saw, I'll tell you that Seahawks defense is amazing.
Yes, they
Because
are. And
yeah,
here's the thing, that Seahawks defense is going to have some continuity going forward because the head coach of the Seahawks is a defensive guy. The head coach of the team is the guy that calls the defense and makes the defensive scheme and stuff. So the upheaval is going to be on the offensive side of the ball, which wasn't the strength of the team to begin with.
yes.
So the
All
Seahawks are going
right.
to be contenders going forward. On the football analysis on the sports analysis podcast with Craig this past Wednesday, I made a comparison. I said that I think that the head coach of the Seahawks right now, Mike McDonald, gives me Nick Saban vibes. And I know, John, you're not as familiar with college football coach names, but Nick Saban is a legendary Alabama head coach. He coached Alabama from like the late aughts into the early 2020s, and he won several national championships as the head coach of Alabama. And he is basically known as like one of the greatest, if not the greatest, head coach in the history of college football. And I think mainly for me, the thing with Mike McDonald, the Seahawks head coach, is that he is very, I think, very like-minded to Nick Saban from a defensive scheme standpoint. And I think that if he can sustain the defensive scheme that he has going on with the Seahawks because it's a very young team too. I think they're going to have a lot of sustained success over time.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. All right. Anything else?
Um, I don't think so. No, as far as like the pop culture stuff, not really. I mean,
Yeah.
personal life stuff. My car has been an absolute nightmare recently. Like, I think you guys all knew last weekend that I had a loaner vehicle because I had dropped my car off at a Chevrolet dealership and got a loaner, and I had that loaner then until Wednesday of this past week. When I went out and got the car, and the car ran fine. And then yesterday being Friday, the check engine light came on. The car still runs fine. I took the car to back to the same exact place that I had it looked at before, and the guy said something about how there's something wrong where there's like either too much oxygen or too much fuel getting injected into the engine, and that it should still drive fine and it might just be a little bit less efficient in the fuel. And so I brought it home, set up an appointment with a different place for today, took it in there. It was in there for like a half hour. They looked at it. The guy that works there even made a call to his mentor, and apparently nobody can figure out what the fuck is wrong with it. So they said to take it back to the place that did the work on it in the first place. And so like my car is just an absolute mess right now, and like the guys that we took it to today were basically all in agreement that it's probably time to get a new vehicle. And that's like a nightmare for me because I just don't want to have to deal with loan payments because I had 10 years worth of student loans to pay off, and I'm a little bit traumatized by it.
I can't blame you, man. I really do hope you find your way to the other side of all this because it's just it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
With that said, I've really got no personal life stuff to report that's significant. Guys, I'm just waiting for the warm weather to really get here. There's a long time that I even joked like, "Oh, I hate the sun. I'm nocturnal," and I am like, I do love the nightlife, but man, I am looking forward to some outdoor fucking time, some outdoor reading, some outdoor hiking.
Today was
Just
beautiful. It was so nice outside today. It was in the 40s. I went out with a bun in my hair. I didn't have to wear a beanie to go outside. It was almost 50 today. It was beautiful. I still wore my hoodie because it was still like, a little bit nippy at times. Um, but man, it was so nice today. And it's supposed to be in the 50s on Tuesday. And that's the day that my mom and I are going to be doing our laundry. I'm looking forward to that. It's just so
yeah,
nice. It's like
yeah.
spring is on its way. I'm basically experiencing what we here in the Northeast refer to as a false spring right now, which is basically just a little taste of spring before the winter weather gets dumped back on you for a few weeks. That's what we're experiencing right now, and it's quite nice. I will take what I can get.
See, and I don't think they're quite giving us a false taste over here in New Hampshire. We're just getting it incrementally because I know we've got like 2 or 3 days that are going to be like in the low 40s, which I'm looking forward to. But I'm really hoping like come March we do start to see like mid to maybe even high 40s a bit more consistently and just really getting back because I think even at that point I could put a jacket on and maybe start hiking just to get acclimated. And then when it gets
Mm.
warm, and I know, I'm already gonna get ahead of it and say I know that there's gonna come a time in the summer where I'm gonna stick to my fucking chair and be like it's too hot, but then I'm just gonna tell myself to shut the fuck up because this was definitely a harder winter for me to get through, and just to be grateful, right? Like just
I
be
am
hydrated
rooting
because you got
so
storm.
hard for you to be able to get back into your actual bedroom before the next winter.
That will probably happen, but I don't like to say anything definitively anymore. If
Yeah,
it
no.
doesn't, I'll do it again. I mean,
I'll fucking
I'm
do it
fucking
again.
S. Yeah, I mean, I'm fucking S tier, baby. There's nothing I can't fucking do. Who do you think I am? MJF? I ain't a one-trick pony, baby. I can do this shit forever. But yeah, that's essentially that. Let's get on to questions because we're I think
We
doing
have
pretty decently right now.
6 from Super Blue, 3 from Alex.
Well, that's just beautiful. So let's get through these Super Blue questions. The first one being, will you root for the megastar now? And he had posted something that LA Knight reposted. I don't know if this was Threads or whatever the fuck, if it's even the actual LA Knight, first of all. And it was the image, I think, from The Onion or whatever. In response to Trump's tasteless meme, we put his face on the body of a known rapist and pedophile, and it was Donald Trump. Here's the thing. Provided that it's even the actual LA Knight, no. No, because you don't get a cookie for being anti-fascist. Being anti-fascist is the fucking floor. It's like the orientation question, right? It's not what you're actually graded on. So no, no, I'm not going to support him because you met the floor. Congratulations. Now fuck off and get the stick out of your ass. Do you have a take?
I don't intend on supporting LA Knight, just to answer the question directly, but like
Yes.
Super Blue,
Yeah.
why are you the way that you are, my friend? Like, you're allowed to support LA Knight, and that's fine. And like, we might dump on LA Knight, but that's not because we're trying to get you to stop liking him. It's just because we don't like him. And as much as we can respect you liking him, you just sometimes you just gotta respect and accept that we just don't like him, that we just think he sucks, and that's just never gonna happen. We're just never gonna think he's good. We're never gonna like him. We're never gonna support him. It's just not in the deck. It's not in the playing cards. It's never gonna be a thing, man.
Yeah, yeah, he's the fetch of any pro wrestling fandom. Try as you might, it's just not going to happen. Oh, my daughter has decided to join us, clawing up
Look,
the
look.
floor. Yeah, yeah, it's appropriate that she's clawing things up when we're talking about LA Knight because she could probably improve that face.
Oh, is she
Um,
digging through your carpet trying to find the bar that Deli Knight cleared?
yeah, yeah, of just being anti-Trump. Oh my God,
Yeah.
set the world on fire.
You're gonna have
Um,
to go a lot deeper than that.
yeah. Levy, yeah, she's leaving. You know, she's like, I did what I came to do. All right, so that was that. Question two from Super Blue. How do you feel about the battle of the halftime shows between Bad Bunny and Turning Point? I know you're asking that facetiously, but like battle is a very strong word to use here.
Yeah, you
Um,
basically what this really is how do you feel about the whiny crybaby snowflake conservatives who are so offended by a language other than the one they understand being spoken on their television that they are pretending to like shitty music just to try and get back at what they perceive as the system.
yeah, exactly. I think he said it best. I'm not gonna. I already did a whole rant in politics. I'm not gonna go any further into any of that. Question three. I know Super Blue's been talking about this a lot, the Discord age verification. With Discord being compromised, what are you going to do? I'm not really worried about the TWitWoW server at all. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think we personally need to do anything. I think we as a collective need to like make a better fucking system, but that's probably not happening. So I'm just waiting and seeing, day by day where the winds are blowing. But yeah, I think our server is fine. I think our members are fine. Yes, we have an NSFW channel, but I mean that as
Oh, I
in
don't
my
know
mind,
if
our
you remember
NSFW.
this, but
Yeah,
originally our NSFW channel was actually marked as 18 plus. But when the UK passed age verification, I changed that. So not that's not even a thing anymore. So that's like there's now nothing in our Discord server that would require age verification anyway.
yeah, yeah. And really, I was even getting ready to say, dude, that when I think about like the history of our NSFW channel, and I know I don't check in like that often, I think it's pretty wholesome as fuck. Honestly, like I think as far as
It is
NSFW channels go,
80 to
yeah,
90% just the horny channel. Just if you're feeling horny and you want to post something about your horniness, it's probably just going to go in there.
yes,
And it's
and yeah.
honestly, it's funny because the 80 to 90% number I would say also applies to the percentage of horny posts in the NSFW channel that are not even nudity.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so
Exactly. Like,
little
yeah,
actual nudity in there. It's crazy.
I feel like in my personal experience, the content is mostly, hey, this person makes me feel things, and I just
Yeah.
want to share it in the most wholesome way. Like,
Yeah.
literally, I don't want to call people out, but I think we all know him as like the Bailey superfan. Mark posted a picture of Bailey posing with a giraffe behind her. Like, that's wholesome as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
like that just, that's our NSFW channel. So I'm not
It's funny
worried.
because
Do I think it's
I have posted several sexy pictures of women that I found to be attractive, but I'm scrolling back and back and back, and I can't find any actual nudity anywhere.
yeah. And like other things, because I've even been like honest that I'm kind of a horn dog, at bottom and everything. And even me, I'm like, no, here's just a tasteful picture of Utami, just like worshiping her fucking greatness. So yeah, I ain't worried, y'all. We're all good. Now, do I think that the age verification and stuff is fucked? Yes, especially when you learn that this all has ties again to Peter fucking Thiel. But yeah, I think our personal server, since that's what Super Blue asked about, what are we going to do? Not a goddamn thing. We're fine. And if Discord would say something, I mean, fuck it. I'm in such a burn everything down mode kind of anyway. I'd be like, hey, it's been fun, y'all. Peace. Or we just find an alternative or something. But I'm not, I don't think it's anything to despair over. It's not anything to be like, oh God, is Discord ruined? No, I mean everything sucks because billionaires exist. That's just really my motto. Billionaires ruin everything. You want to make things better, get rid of billionaires. So that's that.
Yeah, and my policy about this whole Discord age verification thing the whole time, and obviously now with them maybe even backing off of it already, just proves my philosophy was correct, because my philosophy the whole time has just been Aaron Burr's philosophy as written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Wait for it, wait for it, wait.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Literally, just sit back and let things happen. Let things unfold as they will. And you just watch as this company that people saw as like a relatively consumer friendly company making a horribly anti consumer decision is met with the realization that they are going to lose a huge chunk of their both income and consumer base and backtracks. It happens pretty fucking often.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what's
Question.
going on right now, because like the news of this decision being related to Palantir and Peter Thiel is absolutely blowing up in their faces. I personally, since you're asking what we're going to do about it on a very personal level, I unsubscribed from Discord Nitro and I disconnected my Steam and Xbox Live accounts from my Discord, because if this goes through, you're not getting my data. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And you're definitely
I
not getting my money.
I should also unlink my Steam. Thank you for bringing that up because I think mine are
Sure.
linked, so I should do that.
Sure thing.
But yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. At this point, I'm not even trying to be like cynical or jaded, but like I feel like they probably already have my data because I am kind of a loudmouth. My digital footprint, I know how big it is. It's just a matter of like, okay, then it doesn't change the fact that you can eat fucking shit. Like I'm like
I
open, like I'm
found
telling you.
I
Yeah.
went it took me to go all the way back to September 9th of 2024 to find the first actual hint of nudity in our NSFW channel. And it's not even actual nudity, it's just a wet t-shirt on a woman without a bra. It's Tony Storm.
I'm telling you, wholesome as fuck.
And the
So
hilarious thing is, the picture of Tony Storm in the wet t-shirt was posted by the only woman in our server, or the only, I guess I should say, non-binary person in our server. Galatea posted
yeah,
it.
yeah. There you
It's
go.
like Tony time appreciation.
Yes. All right. Next question from Super Blue. After the not guilty verdict, why don't the Uvalde families get even with the police and jump their asses? Because unlike the police, they're not fucking cowardice or cowardly fucking psychopaths, and they have
Oh,
principles and morals. And I
no.
think, okay,
I was just going to say, because unlike the police, they don't have qualified immunity. Like,
yeah, I know, and
there
that too.
would
I was gonna get to
actually
that
be
side too.
consequences for their actions if they would do that, unlike the cops.
And I think also they have the emotional maturity above a toddler, which I can't say for anybody in power right now,
Yeah.
that understands that anger's not going to bring back their loved ones, which let me just say makes them better than me
Yeah.
because like I would throw my life away. I'm telling you, like they really, it really disgusts me that they can get away with this and that they're just proven right every time. And no wonder, right? No wonder they feel like the Epstein class or whatever could just do whatever they want and cops can do whatever they want because the best informer of the future is the past. The precedent's been set. The precedent's done been set. And it's disgusting. But yeah, I mean, that verdict broke my heart. I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised, really. But it was just, there's like police brutality and like all that stuff, which I'm not saying we should be desensitized to. But like, we know, right? Because if you actually listen to black people and you know that history, it's whatever. But like, this was just straight up cowardice. This was straight up like, oh yeah, let the mass shooter do what they want, and then we'll just come in at the end when they've just gotten it out of their system. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. I think a not guilty verdict on that. I think that's why it broke me because it's like, really? You know they didn't do anything. Like, and they were supposed to do something. Oh, fuck me. But anyway, questions 5 and 6 are both he linked to cage matches on these shows because he wanted our thoughts on these shows. So the first one is about no surrender. I'm gonna go through this card.
Oh, I have it pulled
Um,
up as well.
all right, so well, if you're reading it as well, I think we could both just individually react. I have no idea who Jody Threat is, so I have no reaction to the battle royal for the Knockouts World Title.
Well, you
Um,
know what though? I am seeing here that she won by last eliminating Tessa Blanchard, so it's nice to know that Tessa isn't winning things still.
agreed,
The
fucking
best,
agreed.
the correct decision is to just not have her on your payroll at all. But if you're gonna have her on your payroll, then at the very least, not giving her wins is the next best decision.
TNA International Title match: Trey Miguel defeated Channing Lorenzo, so Stacks,
Yeah,
and
I
Ariana Grace. Yeah,
literally, I didn't know that the TNA International Championship existed. I've never heard of that title. B, I didn't know that Channing Stacks Lorenzo was in TNA at all to begin with. C, I never would have guessed that he was a champion there. And D, congrats to Trey Miguel, the one member of the Rascals that AEW decided they didn't want, I guess, for winning the title on this show.
yeah, yeah. That's essentially my thoughts. I'm
Shit's
so
weird,
disconnected.
man.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so disconnected from both these products. You're probably not going to get much substantive feedback from me, but just continuing. Mance Warner, Steph Delander was at ringside, defeated
We love
Mike
Steph
Jackson.
Delander in this household, by the way.
I actually get a lot of her content from her Facebook page, or like I don't know if it's fan supported page or what, like on my feed. And yeah, she seems like a cool, funny personality. He defeated Mike Jackson, so
Bro,
whatever.
she was Persia Parada in NXT.
I vaguely remember her,
The
but I think
Indy
yeah,
Hartwell's friend that was trying to like trifle with her relationship with Dexter.
right, okay, okay, yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I should check back into her, kind of refamiliar myself if I get the motivation, which who even fucking knows.
She's
But yeah,
awesome.
no,
I'm a
it's
big fan of hers.
cool.
I draft her, or at least I did draft her in almost all of our fantasy drafts before she got the major back injury that she's been dealing with for a while now.
Ah, okay. Knockouts World Tag Title matchup. The Elegance
Mm-hmm.
brand retained against Indy Hartwell and Zaya Brookside.
This
Okay.
stinks. Fuck. The Elegance brand is literally one of the worst things in TNA, in my opinion.
I'm sorry, totally unrelated, but you're saying fuck the whole vibe? Fuck. Fuck. Every time now for at least the next 2 weeks.
Nice.
So
Who,
singles match,
who is BDE?
dude. I don't even know.
I don't know
Eric
who that
Young
is either.
defeated them. I mean, congrats to Eric Young, I guess, on the career longevity. Sometimes I can't believe he's still competing, but then again, wrestling is an old man's game again, as far as I'm concerned. So it's
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Wrestling kind of works in cycles on that front, and it is
Yeah.
definitely currently an old man's game. BDE is apparently a relatively new wrestler. He is only 26 years old, which is on the younger side, but not super duper young, not like Javon Evans young. Um, Apparently he was like a YouTuber before becoming a pro wrestler, so that's exciting. He began training for pro wrestling in 2019, but had to take a break because of COVID and resumed in 2024. Debuted on October 19th of 2024.
Oh, okay. Don't know if I again know nothing about him. Don't really know if I like him. I mean, I do like the age, so even if they're like a bit on the greener side or whatever, that tells me that there's still plenty of room to like improve and grow. But yeah, Eric Young won that Knockouts World Title. We already kind of touched on this in a way. Ariana
Yeah.
Grace, defeating
Very happy
Lei
for
Ying Lee.
Ariana Grace, and honestly, given the lineage that we've seen of that Knockouts World title, this is a step up for that title too, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Because my God, that title's been through the ringer. Like it's, I mean, Kalani was all right. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate Kalani. She's all right, but like she's still, Jordan Grace really feels like the last great Knockouts champion because then she lost it to Masha, who was it felt good at the time, but now we know she's a piece of shit. She lost it to JC Jane, who is kind of mid. She lost it to Ash by Elegance, who's a god awful champ. Ash vacated the title, and then Kalani won it, and now Lei Ying Li, who has got to be among the worst knockouts champions of all time, and now finally Ariana wins it. Ariana genuinely entertaining, legitimately like one of the most entertaining women. I would go as far as to say in all of wrestling, for me at least.
Yeah, I agree. I actually miss hearing her promos and stuff. I might actually
Same.
tune in more, at least on YouTube clips,
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
see what she does with this title. Yeah.
exactly. That's the type of character and performer that she is. That she makes me want to check in on the product just to see her specifically.
Yes. 8-man tag. Order 4 defeated the Hardys and the Righteous. Good for Order 4. Fuck the Hardys. Fuck the Righteous.
Man.
I don't really know the Righteous that well, but if you're associating with the Hardys, fuck you.
See, and
So
I
there
actually
you go.
like the Righteous. I think they're cool as hell. Those guys have got aura for days, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, nice. I mean, your face liking them definitely does change my opinion considerably, but still, though, I'm Order Four.
Is
I'm
there anything
Ali.
about
You know,
Order 4 that you like other than it's Ali's faction? Like if those other three guys, other than Ali, were in a faction with someone else as their leader, would you give a single fuck?
probably not.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I
But it's
also like
Ali.
Tasha Steeles.
Right.
I also like Tasha Steeles, though. She's also cool.
Yeah, Tasha
So
is cool, but she also didn't participate in this match legally.
no, she was in the Battle Royal, which unfortunately she did not win.
Right.
Um, so tag team matchup: Leon Slater and Mike Santana defeated Eddie Edwards and Nick Nemeth.
Yeah,
Not even
why
once.
was this match?
I don't know.
I'm not complaining because the right team obviously won, and I'm assuming, or at least hoping, that this is going to lead to Leon getting a shot at Mike's world title. That would be great.
Yeah,
But like, I don't really get why this match main evented this pay per view.
I don't either. I don't either. Moving on to AEW Grand Slam.
Oh, is that something that happened just tonight?
Yes, so they don't really have results here, at least on Cage Match, because I just refreshed and they're still
Grand
treating it like an
Slam
extra.
Australia. I'm looking at it right now. John Moxley went to a time limit draw with Konosuke Takeshita in a singles match for the AEW Continental Championship. The Babes of Wrath, which was Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, who are the AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions, retained successfully against Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, who go by Team Mega Bad. Hangman defeated Andrade
Of course.
for a shot at the title. Orange Cassidy and Timeless Tony Storm defeated the team of Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir in a mixed tornado tag hair versus hair match. Since Yuta got pinned, he had his hair shaved. Kyle Fletcher defeated Mark Briscoe in a ladder match for the TNT title, and naturally MJF successfully retained against Brody King.
So we're gonna be doing MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. I'm guessing at
Jet Dog
Revolution.
Hand.
I thought was the next show. Yep. Yep. All right. So that's all of Super Blues questions. I really have nothing to say. AEW going to AEW. So we can now move on to Foster's questions.
Yes.
Um,
What other
so
things in life does Adam Pearce probably get blamed for?
the property tax rate in my state, probably. I don't know.
Damn, you sound like my grandpa.
Ew. Uh,
Dude, you gotta understand, since before we even moved out to this apartment, like legitimately since at least like 2017, I would say, my pop, meaning like my nan's husband, that guy, my pop, was talking about wanting to sell the house because he didn't want to have to keep paying property tax and he wanted to move specifically near Myrtle Beach in South Carolina because there's apparently no property tax in South Carolina. He's that kind of
damn.
person.
Wow. So yeah, what you got any answers for this?
What other things in life does Adam Pearce probably get blamed for? I mean, God, what other things in life is this like referring to something? Like, what has Adam Pearce been blamed for recently that this is riffing off of?
I think the Vision's just been blaming him for a lot because they're like, you should know who the Masked Man is. It's been
Oh,
making our life hell and everything else. Yeah.
gotcha. You know, I just on a personal level, I do tend to blame Adam Pearce for random shit that goes wrong throughout my day. Like, You know, if I wake up too early in the day, I'm like, damn you, Adam Pierce. If like the other day when my car's check engine light came on, I told my mom, the check engine light just came on. I bet Adam Pierce had something to do with this. So there's something for you, Foster.
Yeah, probably losing Talon's luggage as they're transitioning between flights. Damn it, Adam! Why didn't you book me on a more efficient flight?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Um,
Unfortunately,
Question two.
also
Yeah,
just not being able to help cover talent's health care.
yeah,
That's not
yeah.
Adam
You
Pierce's
bald
fault, but
bitch.
he gets blamed for it anyway because he's Adam Pierce.
It's kayfabe, which means it's real. And then somebody's like, "Well, that's actually the exact." You know what? Never mind. All right. Question two: what wrestlers in kayfabe could outsmart Light Yagami? I mean, you didn't really specify any kind of time period, so I mean, Damien Sandow's an intellectual, right? So like, he
Bro,
probably could
Damien
have outsmarted
Sandow was
Light
a
Yagami.
fake smart guy. You know that.
So was
I'm gonna
Taj
say
Mowry because it was
Bobby
a
the
show.
Brain Heenan.
Oh, there you go. I actually like that answer.
And also,
Seth
like,
Rollins.
I'm just gonna say, like, most wrestlers probably, except for like maybe like the bottom 30 to 40% of like deductive reasoning among pro wrestlers, because like Light Yagami is like an overly arrogant teenage boy who thinks he's the shit.
I mean, agree to disagree, but yeah, I think Seth Rollins. I'd have
Listen,
him on there.
if Death Note wasn't an anime and that actually like what happened in that show actually happened in real life, Light would have gotten caught immediately because of his ridiculous evil laugh. His dad would have heard him and be like, "Light, what the hell, man?"
We all saw the YouTube video. I'm pretty sure I was the one that shared it in the Discord. Thanks. Also, did you hear my sigh into the microphone?
No, but I'm not surprised you
Well,
did because I know that you
I
love
yeah,
Light.
yeah, I did, and I do. So there you go. Question three, final
I
question
agree
from
with
Foster.
Alex that our truth could be Light 100%. Because our truth is it's not about tested IQ, it's about savvy. And our truth is a quick, witty guy.
Just sighed again. So,
Oh, nice. Love that for you.
question three: if you could turn heel in real life for one day with no negative repercussions, just for funsies, how would you do it? This was the worst question to ask me because it would concern everyone that cares about me how much bandwidth I give to this question. Um, yeah, I don't even know if I want to answer this
If
just
you
for my
could
own
turn
comfort.
heel in real life for one day with no negative repercussions, just for funsies, how would you do it? Huh.
God,
I'm thinking like machine gun to DC.
Jesus,
What?
God damn. Is that really turning heel or being the ultimate babyface at that point?
It's turning
Um,
heel. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course it's turning heel because it's like murder bad.
I mean, yeah, yeah, I suppose. I don't really want to give that to you though, but I suppose. Um, just because I mean, yeah, I feel like it would be a murderer taking out other fucking murderers, given what happens in DC. Let me think. Me really? You know what? You know what? I would just go in a nursing home and let it fucking rip, baby. I would deliberately get COVID and then pull an Andrew Cuomo and go in a nursing home and just let that shit fucking rip.
Oh my god. Well,
No, that
unquestionably more heelish than mine.
yes,
You're
yeah. I
committing
think
murder to innocent old people. I'm committing murder to very guilty old people.
yeah. There you go. I mean, I had to be the other side of the coin just to really give Foster something to chew on. He did say turn heel, so I'll commit. Um,
I feel
yeah.
called
There we
out. Did
go.
I not commit hard enough?
No, you didn't. And I'm gonna be quietly,
Wow.
but also a bit vocally disappointed. Um,
Wow.
so there we go. That was our Q&A portion, and now we can transition to high spots and low shots.
My
Um,
mom's disappointed in you, by the way.
well, there's a first time for everything. My low shot is gonna be Ali because he is in a feud with Elijah that's going to apparently, I'm guessing, reach its climax in some gimmicky match. What was it exactly? I want to find Curtis's message again, because he alerted me to this. To which I replied, "Life is agony interrupted solely by intermittent laughter. The bar is in hell." Because yeah, Elijah versus
I
Ali
saw
in a
that.
guitar case casket match set for Impact next Thursday.
I saw that because then Curtis interpreted it as you saying that a literal bar, like the kind of bar you get drinks at, is in hell. And he said, "Yeah," and it feels like we've started a tab.
And then you know what? It popped me, so I let him have that one.
My mom insists that we're going to be watching this Elijah versus Ali match. Is that this coming Thursday? We're going to have to try and find a way to watch that somehow.
Bestie, I have to ask who's we because I didn't know you got a mouse in your pocket because I don't really know if I'm gonna fucking
No, 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 no,
watch
no, no,
Ali
no,
be
no, no.
subjected to
When
this.
she says that, she's specifically talking about her and I.
Oh, thank God. I'm happy to be the bestie because, I have no genetic obligations.
She said that means it's on this TV in this house.
Yes. Yes. Even when I lose, I win. Oh, God. All right. So yeah, Ali's my low shot. Who's your low shot?
Can I also just say, I scrolled up to see the posts between you and Curtis where he posted that and you talked about agony and whatever, and
Yeah.
then his comment about it being a tab. The next post Gala posted was someone on X saying Jericho is built like a 65-year-old lucha libre legend named El Rasisto.
Yes. Yes.
I
That
love
also
that.
popped me.
Holy shit, that's a legendary post. My low shot, Drake May. My low shot is Drake May, who is the quarterback for the New England Patriots, who got sacked 6 times and turned the ball over 3 times in the Super Bowl, and is only going to have a rougher time going forward in his career.
Oof. My high spot, just because I'm never gonna give it to or at least try not to give it to politicians, just because they may say the right things or have a good little performance. I'm gonna give it to that woman, whoever she was, that set that warehouse on fire.
Nice.
It's nice to see actual fucking praxis. So good on you,
Was
lady.
this
I
this
hope
was
you
in
get a
Kansas City, right?
yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
your high spot is the Kansas City arsonist.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For doing actual praxis and actually making a material difference because they backed out of the deal with ICE afterwards. See, this is I actually really do wonder if one day people are going to connect the dots. Luigi Mangione, Cavs Brian Thompson, allegedly, and United Healthcare starts approving claims that they never would have approved of before. This woman sets fire to a warehouse. Suddenly, there's no deal with ICE. Do you see how everything that liberal media fucking tells you about, oh, you should do this and not this, when you do the not this stuff, that actually seems to work. Just putting that out there. So yeah, Kansas City arsonist, you're fucking based. Kudos to you. I love you. Hope you had a great Valentine's Day. And that's essentially that. Who's your high spot?
My high spot is Clint Kubiak, the former offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, who called a great game against the Patriots, who just got a job as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. He's moving to a great city with very low taxes to be the coach of a team that has a lot of talent on it, that is just going to need to get healthy, which they have the time to do now with the first overall pick, with a really, really good quarterback that they're going to take first overall in Fernando Mendoza, and a clean, fresh restart that I think that he might even be able to manage to lead them to the playoffs in year one as their head coach. And I'm really excited to see how they do this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a very interesting weekly recap. We had the right amounts of darkness and light, I feel like, and that's always nice. So,
Probably too much dark, to be fair. But that reflects the world we live in, does it not?
that's so true. I mean, I definitely put it over the top with my heel turn question, but I hope Foster was at the very least satisfied.
Yeah, your
Um,
heel turn question really cemented your ageism for me.
yeah, definitely. Well, you know what, I was gonna say something, but no, I've done my work today. So, with that said, this has been the weekly recap. This has been TwitWoW, the best podcast on the internet today. I'm John. That's my corner comedy action. Guys, be sure to like the video as you file out, subscribe with the bell notifications so you miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Blue Sky and Twitch because, again, we are the best podcast on the internet today. And we will see you guys again, I don't know, maybe sometime this week for a Mario Gold or something or some kind
I'm
of Joshi. But
guessing Wednesday for Gold, maybe.
I mean, maybe, I guess.
Maybe
We'll have
I
to see
don't
what the
know.
yeah, we'll have to see what the cards look like, and then we'll have to see Stardom for Thursday because we caught up on all that. But then yeah, like whatever's going on
That
with
is
Joshi,
one
if you're
thing
not,
that I'm really happy about is that we are completely caught up on both Joshi promotions that we follow now.
yeah, yeah, I love when that happens,
Yeah,
and
it
really it
feels
doesn't even
good.
take that long anymore. Like we're just in a really good groove with our content. I feel like, but
Heck
if you guys don't
yeah.
watch. Yeah, if you guys don't watch any of that and you just watch this, then it's every Saturday, 10:30, the weekly recap. So until then,
When?
guys, have a
When
beg
is
pardon?
Elimination Chamber? Is that next
February
Saturday?
28th.
So it's 2 Saturdays from today. Okay.
Yes. Um, so yeah, you guys could see us next Saturday, 10:30. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. Be good to yourselves and each other more than ever. Tune in and peace out.